Welcome to Dingsco FM's podcast, where we discuss individual and business growth with guests who are an expert in their field. In today's episode, we focus on entrepreneur growth and we'll look at the journey of two sibling entrepreneurs who run a successful accessory brand. We'll learn about the highlights, challenges, and lessons that they've experienced along the way, as well as other amazing initiatives that came about as a result of them building their business. On that note, we welcome sister duo Nelly and Nolwazi Zama as our guests. These ladies are the owners of a proudly South African brand, Polka Dot Coco. They're based in the south coast of Durban, South Africa, and they specialize in handcrafted accessories that are made using locally sourced material. Their entrepreneurial journey started back in 2015, and since then, Nelly and Nolwazi have grown their brand to new heights. They both have a deep passion for the work that they do, and they believe that if God has blessed you with a gift, use that gift to the best of your ability. When they're not working on their business, you'll find these dynamic sisters enjoying activities that they find relaxing. Nelly loves to spend time cooking in the kitchen and enjoys trying out different foods from around the world. As part of tourism in their area, she and her sister cater for tourists using the food grown on their own farm. Nolwazi is all about the outdoors. She loves being in nature, and you'll often find her working outdoors and planting in the garden. She also enjoys other outdoor activities such as trail running and walking. Both Nelly and Nolwazi also have two 6-month-old Rottweiler dogs who they absolutely adore and who keep them very entertained. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's wonderful to have you here. So if we look back at your journey, your entrepreneurial journey started back in 2015. So please share with us what led to you starting your business brand and how did you come to choose the name Polka Dot Coco?
Wow, thank you so much for having us. My name is Nelly. I'm the older sister. So there's a backstory to this. Before I started this brand, Polka Dot Coco, I had just worked in an orphanage here in Durban. And one of the tasks that I was trusted with was to be an assistant teacher, amongst many other things. So I was given one period per day to be with any class. And because I love cooking, so I said that I would rather teach the kids how to cook. So we'll do something so simple, like maybe make biscuits or cook rice, cook pop, make pancakes, something so easy and simple that does not require like lots of ingredients for you to concentrate in class. But then amongst all the group of kids or classes that I was given, there was just this one particular group of kids. They were called special needs, not because they were physically challenged, but because they just couldn't cope with the normal mainstream schoolwork. But they enjoyed my class. They used to look forward to that one period a week to be with Miss Nelly. What I found out when I left there was that there's a group of children who I know that will not get a chance in furthering their education or being somebody one day because they just can't cope. So that's how Polka Dot Coco was born, because the vision for this brand is to be able to hire this group of children, especially girls, because we know about the high rates of pregnancy in our country. Some of them, when they leave after the orphanage, where do they go if they can't further their education? So for us, it's that niche, that group of kids. We want to say, we want to hire you, we want to empower you, we want to upskill you so that you're not just a number, but you are somebody one day. We want you to become a successful businesswoman or businessman one day out there. So that's how Polka Dot Coco was born. And then also at the back of that, we also have a mentorship program, which I also started when I was at the orphanage, which we still do. It is called Princess Diaries Christian Mentorship Program for Girls. The girls that we started mentoring, they're now in university, and they started when they were 10 years old. So it is such an amazing journey to watch them grow. Some of them are in universities, and it is amazing. Yeah.
The impact that you've had already is absolutely remarkable, especially on young girls. And we'll get a little bit more into that story later in the interview. So I'm also interested in knowing, how did you come to choose the name Polka Dot Coco? It's such a unique name.
It is very unique. Funny thing, there's no big story behind it. Basically, I love polka dots. Polka dots represent different kinds of people, different colors, different races, young, old, blue, green, black. It represents everything happy. And then Coco, we love chocolate. We are brown. So it's Coco. So Polka Dot Coco. I thought it just worked well. So there's no big story behind it.
Absolutely love it. I love how you brought the different concepts together and made that into your brand name, because it captures everything about the two of you. It was so nice to hear about your entrepreneurial journey as it unfolded. And given the background that you just shared, it's clear that you're seasoned entrepreneurs and you've gained a lot of experience and you've gained a lot of knowledge along the way. So, what are some of the best moments of your entrepreneurial journey?
Wow, I must say some of the things that I think we appreciate is number one is the fact that the brand is still running. That alone says a lot. 7 years later, we're still here. And how it actually started. So Nelly came back from the orphanage and we started off doing food and the accessories. Now, this is where they came in. So the accessories came in because we were trying to represent ourselves, making the vegan food, and we just, I don't know, it just did not click. And I don't know who it was that suggested, how about if we change the uniform? Let's say, so we went home and we thought, okay, how about if we sit here and let us try to do something about our uniform, maybe have similar golf tees and whatever. So Nelly decided, okay, she was going to make this bow tie. I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. It was this thin fabric, floppy, like on the edges, and we still wore it. And we thought it was the best thing we've ever made.
Thinking about it makes me cringe.
But it was actually one of the worst. And somehow people were very kind, I think, and it drew attention. They were like, oh, Shemi, ladies look so cute and everything like that. And so somehow we thought, how about if we make accessories? There's something about accessories that draws the eye. And so we changed from food to accessories and we focused on that. So we took what was meant to go really, really south and we just converted that into something that really, really works. And now that's just our main focus, are accessories. Obviously, Nelly is the designer. She has actually shaped the accessories over the years. They are now at the level that they're at because that is our main focus. So it's not just like a side thing. Over the years, we have watched how the fashion changes and we've also just focused on the accessories and made sure that we come up with really great accessories. So the fact that we transitioned from a bad situation to a good one, that was one of our biggest highlights of our careers. And also the people that we get to meet.
Our customers.
They just make you want to get up and they make you want to do more. We meet the most fantastic people. The way they support and the way they just come back and reference, it's just insane. Like,
and encouragement as well.
Yes, like we've got a lady who's in Canada and she saw the accessories. When was it, on social media?
On Instagram.
Yes.
And she loved it. She placed an order. And she was
a few years back,
okay, before COVID. And she was here in South Africa, in Durban, 2 months ago. And I got to meet her.
Yeah.
And when she was here, she created a WhatsApp group for people back home in Canada saying, I'm meeting the ladies. They are usually tell you about the Pocket.coco ladies. And they've ordered more stock. And she had to take more stock back with her and distribute it when she went back to Canada. We are so grateful. Honestly, we are so grateful.
Big time.
Even though we've never traveled around the world, but we can count the amount of countries where our products have represented around the world, which we are so eternally grateful.
Yeah.
So great. And here in South Africa as well.
Oh, big time.
So
big
grateful.
Time. I think we've got some of the most incredible clients and just family support as well.
Yeah.
We've got a very strong, supportive structure. Our parents, our brother, it's really, really great. So we're very, very grateful.
Very.
So those are some of the best moments and highlights that you've mentioned. On the other side, as you all know, as entrepreneurs, we experience a lot of challenges also. There are hurdles, there are sometimes pitfalls, there are moments of adversity. Our thinking sometimes gets in the way. So for you as entrepreneurs, being in the game now for 7 years, what are some of the biggest challenges that you ladies have experienced?
I think the very first thing is not having mobile, as in like transport. We rely mainly, even now, on public transport and family. And so that has been so tough because as small business owners, you want to do so much, but then you're so limited. And if you do get transport, like everything that you've worked so hard for has to go back to that. So for us, it's been transport and then also COVID. I think COVID did play quite a big role, even though we're still here.
Well, not just us, most businesses, especially being here in KZN, we had COVID, and then we had riots, and then we had floods. I mean, to watch your friends' business, people saying, no, I'm closing my business because I can't survive anymore. It's been tough. Honestly, it has been tough. We do laugh because, I mean, you're not going to sit here and cry every day. You have to pick up your pieces and keep going. But it is tough. But then at the same time, being an entrepreneur, you always have that thing that says, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going because of the vision that you have.
And also, I think at the back of what Nelly was saying, because we come from a very small area, all the way in the south coast of Durban, our products, it's very niche. You know, it's not like the general maybe accessories that you find on every other shop, every other person makes. And so as far as maybe transportation and things like that, we have to travel quite a bit to make it to trade shows and markets. And like, we're not saying that we're very, very choosy. It's just that over the years, we've experienced that even if you go to a small market, maybe the people who go there are not really necessarily looking for what you have. So we've had to actually try out so many different places and so many different trade shows, different markets, until we found places where the kind of clients that want these accessories go to. And so that means we've had to travel to Johannesburg. I mean, from Durban to Joburg, it's been quite a journey. You know, sometimes you have to travel to Cape Town and you try to see, will Cape Town work for us? I mean, we're talking accommodation, transportation, stall, everything like that that comes out of your pocket. And we're doing accessories, you know. And so again, you've got certain clients, and that's just a form of marketing because you cannot afford to hire someone to do your marketing. So you have to do everything yourself. So you have to get there yourself. You talk about your brand, you're printing out your business card, you're letting go 50, 100 at a time, whatever it is. And maybe sometimes you only come back with 2 contacts, you know, and trying to get into shops. What do? You know, when you get into those places, you want to get into the shops, you want to supply shops and things like this, so you don't have to travel as much. And so those are some of the things is that when, especially in like the fashion industry, it's a very competitive industry. We try to make our products stand out. And so we try to just market the way that we do and hoping that someone will appreciate. And I think over the years, we are now at the point where we have found trade shows and markets that work for the brand. And now we have people who would literally just, they trust your brand because they see it so much. And also I won't put aside just how social media works. The more that people see you post, I'm not saying that you're on their faces all the time, but the more people see that, okay, so these people are legit. It's not just a brand that is there once. The last time they posted was 2014, and now they're coming back and we're not quite sure, are they real, are they not? So we're posting all the time and people get to be a part of your journey. And eventually you get someone who would send you a DM on Instagram or something like that. And they'll say, hi, I've been following your page for some time. I see that you're doing ties. Have you got them in this color? I'm having a wedding. You know what I mean? And that is just how powerful social media can be. And that's how we found it. And so, yeah, those are just some of the things that it's very slow marketing, but
it works.
It works. We've had to take a bit from our pocket. Sometimes you cry, sometimes it's a hit and miss. Sometimes like we'll get to Joburg. And the one time we went to Pretoria, the Weather Channel will tell you Pretoria is all sunny. We got to Pretoria, it was pouring. The people there, they were so kind. He was like, I'm not even going to charge you. We were all standing next to the corridor with our suitcases and we had to go back. There's nothing that you can do. You've traveled. So those are like some of the challenges that we find as a small business that we've had to just accept that they will be there. But it's just a matter of working through that. Sometimes you can't work around it. You just have to go through it. And so those are some of the things that we found.
So I'm very interested in knowing, so you have all your accessories with you, right? Like you say, you travel around the country to different markets. First of all, what sort of mode of transport do you take from one place to the next? You've mentioned taking the bus from one city to another. So when you're in the city, how do you handle different modes of transport? And then how does that work with the accessories that you're carrying as well?
Okay, let me paint a picture for you. So before or during COVID, because I resigned in 2020, October, during hard lockdown.
Z resigned last year, around about June, during lockdown as well. But I'm just going to paint a picture for you so that you get a bit of understanding. Before resigning, we had full-time jobs, Monday to Friday, our 9 to 5. I would finish work at 4:30. Z would finish work at 4. And then our dad would pick us up from work. We'll come back. We'll finish packing up. This is Friday afternoon. And then we'll get to the bus station. They will drop us off at around about 8:45. This is at night. We'll travel the whole night to Pretoria. We'll get to Pretoria station. We'll go there. There's a McDonald's there. And then we'll go and freshen up. And when we come out of that, our ankles are swollen because we've been sitting the whole night. But then once we put on our polka.coco uniform, there's no ways you'll tell that we've been sitting in the bus the whole night. So we'll have our breakfast, we'll get on a cab, we'll do a market, sometimes we split, sometimes we'll just do one market. With our bags, food, everything, luggage, we'll put everything under the table, we'll kill that market. Sometimes it is a hit or miss, sometimes it will be a good market, sometimes it won't. And then we'll get a cab from there back to the Bosman station because that's where the Gautrain is. And then we'll get the Gautrain to Johannesburg. This is after the market on Saturday. And then from Johannesburg, we'll get an Uber to our place where we've booked for one night. And then there in the morning on Sunday, we'll do a market the whole day on Sunday.
So you check out, basically.
Yes, you check out and then you do a market the whole day on Sunday. And then you get an Uber or cab and they'll take you to now Park Station in Johannesburg. And then we'll sit there until 9 p.m. with our luggage and everything. And then we'll travel from Johannesburg back home. We'll be home on Monday morning around about 5:45. By the time we get home, Mom has already ironed our clothes for us for work. And then we'll probably sleep for literally less than 15 minutes just to put our heads down. And Dad will take us to work. I have to be at work at 7:30 in the morning. Z has to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Your boss wants to see you then nice and fresh. Nobody will know that we've done this during the weekend. This was us, most of the weekends, not all of them, but most of the weekends.
That is really putting your blood, sweat, and tears into this entrepreneurial journey and juggling multiple jobs. So you actually never had a weekend.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Sometimes we feel sorry for our friends because most people wouldn't understand that we say we're always busy.
Yeah.
Because now you're not going to be on everyone's face all the time and be like, no, I'm busy. You hit the ground and then you start going. Because again, it's the vision that there's these girls out there who need help. Because who's going to hire someone who doesn't even have grade 5, but they're 20 years old? So that's why we do what we do. It's because it boils down to that.
So I love that the two of you do this journey together. There's often the expression that one should never do business with friends or family. But as sibling entrepreneurs who successfully run this brand, Polka.coco, together, what's your perspective on this expression and how do you make your partnership work?
I mean, every place does have its challenges. It's not always smooth sailing because when you are in business, it's about sharing ideas. And everybody has got a different point of seeing things. But what we have found is that we both have our own key strengths. So it's not like we both are designing something and we both have to make a decision on the new textile that we have to purchase or anything like that. And now we both hit on this one thing that we're trying to work out. What we find is that she's good at designing and everything like that. I don't necessarily interfere as much. And I'm more in the business side. And so she doesn't necessarily interfere as much. And so even though we are trying to make everything work, I'm assisting her in so many things. And then she's doing the work as well in so many ways. And so we've just found that because the key strengths are balanced on either side, there's no friction over the same thing. She'll just come to me and say, what do you think of this new design of earrings that I'm making? And I'm looking at the whole picture that she's just created. It's like a yes or a no. I'll go to her and say, I've just done this for the website. What do you think? Is this okay? Is this the layout? Okay. And then she'll look at me and be like, maybe the color here, or yes, I like that. You know what I mean? And so it's not like we're both sitting there on the website, trying to click on photos, trying to put the same photos. And now I'm fighting, she's fighting. You know, it's little things that actually cause that.
We do have our moments. We are human, and it's very important to know that. But we give each other the space, because if I'm having a moment, she carries on with her thing. The business doesn't have to stop. If she's having a moment, I carry on and the business doesn't have to stop. So I think those are some of the things that we've sort of found earlier on in the business, especially, there are a lot of businesses out there that are run by families as well. I think just knowing your key strengths and then focusing on that in a way is what we found from the beginning.
Earlier on, you mentioned that you have the Princess Diaries mentorship program running, and this sounds like such an amazing initiative. Can you please tell us a bit more about it and who it's aimed at?
So the Princess Diaries mentorship program started in 2013 when I was at that orphanage. So we would meet with the girls every second Saturday. Basically, it is just a platform for girls to be girls and for girls to open up. Most times it is so hard to open up, especially if it's something that is so close to your heart that you don't want the world to know, especially those dark places. It is so hard to open up, and Princess Diaries does that for the girls, whether on one-on-one basis or in a group form, but they prefer one-on-one. So we would just get around, play games, would pray, would sing, would eat, obviously, but then we'd just ask the girls a simple question as, how are you doing? But then my theory is ask twice, don't ask once. The first time someone's gonna say, I'm fine, we all say that. But then if you stop and say, how are you doing? Then she will know that, okay, she cares. She wants to listen to me. And it is also because then if she opens up, chances are when she grows up, she'll be able to talk. She'll be able to have a voice. We want her to know that she has this voice and she can use it. So that's Princess Diaries. So we started there at the orphanage. So when I left, they did carry on. And when I came back home, I also started it in another school for girls, which unfortunately closed down during COVID. But we are still doing it. I had to find ways during COVID to be in contact with the girls. So we started it on WhatsApp. So on WhatsApp, they can reach us, DMs on Instagram, they can reach us, and then on Facebook as well. All those platforms are open for them to reach out and say, hey, Miss Nelly, I've got a problem, or we need to talk, and things like that. And that has helped.
And are there specific age groups that you typically find being a part of your Princess Diaries mentorship program, Nelly?
So the group was mainly from 10 to 13, that age. But then what I found is that there's girls that we started this program with, and they're still in contact. After like primary school, they go to different high schools and they split, they all over the country. But then they still want to be in contact with us. So it's open. It is open for them. And what we found is that some of those girls, they would literally tell their friends that, hey, there's someone here who's willing to listen. So I'll get this WhatsApp saying, hi, I've got your number from so-and-so. Then I'll welcome them. And then the family keeps growing. The princesses, they keep growing.
And so you mentioned earlier about vision when you spoke about Polka Dot Cocoa, right? And being an entrepreneur, you have this vision for your business. So you clearly have a vision for Princess Diaries mentorship program as well. What is your long-term vision for that program? Where do you hope to see it go? And what are the kinds of things that you need to get it there?
For Princess Diaries, it is to see it being rolled out in different orphanages and in primary schools as well. Because our mom is a teacher, so she's a primary school teacher, and she heads up the OVC group, which is Orphaned and Vulnerable Children, and there's a great need. Most of the kids these days, they don't have parents, unfortunately, or they are parents, but it's been tough. And they need that listening ear. They need that sisterhood, that older sister. That's what they need. And for us, if we can be able to reach not only here in KZN, throughout Africa, throughout South Africa, just to have this program for them that at least once a week, if there's somebody out there, call the girls aside. Girls, how are you doing? How can we help? Do you need sanitary pads? Do you need undies? What do you need? Can we pray for you? Things like that. Or as simple as I'm here to listen. What is wrong? Let's chat. Is there something wrong at home? Then we can work with the social workers, because I do have a friend who is a social worker who we work with.
Whatever we do, I always refer back to her, and she helps to say, this is how it's done professionally, this is not done, be in contact with this person, and things so on and so forth. We would love for Princess Diaries to be rolled out in the Department of Education. They say you start small, speak it out, and you just never know.
Absolutely. And it's such an incredible vision to have. And I hope that the right people hear and that you can get the resources that you need. Because like you mentioned, there are different types of resources. There are people resources you need. There are the tangible resources, like you mentioned, the sanitary pads. Sometimes it's stationery.
Things that will make her, when I say her, I'm talking about these princesses, something that may not stay at home, but be able to go out there, go to school, whether be at school or at an orphanage.
And it's very clear the impact that you've already had with this Princess Diaries mentorship program, where you said you've seen young girls, they've moved on to high school, and then, of course, having gone through the university system as well. And so it is incredible that you've got this initiative going, and I hope that it continues to grow from strength to strength.
Thank you.
Now, ladies, there may be multiple listeners that actually want to get in touch with you. So either they want to chat about your services, your products, or maybe they actually want to just find out more about your journey as entrepreneurs. So can you please share with us all the places and spaces where our listeners can get in touch with you?
So if they want to get hold of us, we are on social media. We do also have contact details. Our business number is 076 681 1516. Our email address is polka.cocosales@gmail.com. So that is the business name, sales@gmail.com. And then on social media, it is the word polka and then the symbol dot, the word dot, the symbol dot, and then Coco. So that is both Instagram mostly and then Facebook as well. So that is where you'll find us. And then there's also on the contact number, you can also WhatsApp. And then Nelly is also on LinkedIn as Nelly Zama.
And then also Princess Diaries has page as well on Instagram. So it is Princess Diaries Mentorship, same contact numbers. It is bright yellow. You won't miss it.
Excellent. And then you mentioned you go to different markets around the country, ladies. So which markets can our listeners find you at?
Okay, so if you are in the Durban area, you can actually come out to Moses Mabhida Stadium on the first Saturday of every month to a market called I Heart Market that takes place from 8:30 to 2:00. So it is quite a nice market. There's lots to see. We try to be there every single time. So we try to be there on the first Saturday of the month. And then listeners must just keep an ear out on the social media. We do another one called Shongweni Farmers Market, but that one is on selected Saturdays. So we're not often there.
Yes.
But you can keep an ear out for that. So if you do follow us on social media,
please
do. We will definitely post that. There's also Commerce, which happens mainly in Mainland, which is in Pretoria. We did Mainland earlier this year.
Yeah,
in May. So those are like our three main places that you can find us in. And we do have an online shop as well.
Yes.
Polka.coco. If you find us on social media, the link is there on the bio. If not, if you type out polka.coco
on Google,
you will definitely see the online shop as well. So www.polka.coco.ptyltd.myshopify.com. So that is our handle. So yeah. But obviously, we do rare markets every now and then. So please do follow us on social media. And then you will see there are low markets and trade events that we do
in between,
like your Intra-Africa Trade Fair,
Tourism in
Indaba and places like that. So, yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for being our guest today and for sharing your story, Nelly and Nolwazi. It was wonderful to have you on the show. And it's always inspiring to see entrepreneurs like you start and grow their business to new heights. And the work that you do and the products that you create are simply amazing. And we can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. Personally, I'm very excited to have you join me again on this podcast in future so that we can catch up on all the great things that you're doing as South African entrepreneurs.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for having us. We've had a great time and we can't wait to be invited back, hopefully soon.
We hope that you enjoyed today's podcast episode. Be sure to come back regularly for more great content that focuses on personal, career, entrepreneur, and business growth. Find out more about our coaching services and get in touch with our team by following the link in our post or visit dingscoconsulting.co.za.